while I was in Tamil Nadu, just last month, we were holding crusades there. And I had an opportunity to speak to one of the pastors that organized this crusade, and his name is Pastor Tilak. And he detailed to me just his life story and the rejection that he faced. You see, he had it all, or it seemed like he had a thriving church, he had a beautiful family, everything you could call success, a house, a car, and things were seemed to be going well. But he realized that what he had been preaching wasn't correct doctrine, and God revealed to him, he got the correct doctrine, and so he started preaching that. And the funny thing about it is, as soon as he started preaching the right doctrine, his denomination threatened him. They said, hey, if you keep speaking that stuff, we're going to kick you out. And that's exactly what they did. And it was so bad that they even, they threatened his wife. They told his wife, stay with us, don't go with him. And so the wife decided to stay with the denomination and left him, taking everything with her. And he had to leave that city, Bangalore, to a new city called Kalkulam. And he had to start all over again. As tears were coming down his eyes, I could see the rejection he had faced. He had faced the sting of rejection. That just reminded me of the blind man in the synagogue whom Jesus had healed him. The prevailing doctrine at the time was that the reason that he was blind was because of the sins of his parents and his sin. So the reason you are suffering is because of your sin or the sins of your parents. And Jesus wanted to correct that doctrine. And so he corrected it. He says, the reason the man was blind was for God's glory. It wasn't because of his sin, it was for God's glory. That's a lesson for us. Perhaps the reason you are suffering or going through a hard time, it's not necessarily what you've done, it could be, but it is that God's name be glorified. Anyway, this man was healed and he was rejoicing, and so the pastors in the temple, they said, hey, who healed you? And he says, whoever healed me had to be the man of God. And they said, no, he cannot be. And the blind man started preaching to them. He was preaching the right doctrine. He says, we've never heard of a blind man seeing, and this man has healed me. We know God does not answer the prayers of sinners. He only answers the righteous prayer. Boy, that was a non-starter. They kicked him out. They said no. And also they called his parents and they told the parents, what happened to your blind son? The parents that should be happy for the miracle of their son, they were afraid of rejection, just like we are. And because they didn't want to be put out of the church, they said, hey, he's a grown man, ask him. Eventually they kicked him out. But the beautiful thing is the Bible says as soon as they kicked him out, Jesus found him. Let them kick you out. Let them reject you, because as they kick you out, that's when Jesus will find you. Perhaps you're feeling the sting of rejection. A boyfriend or a husband left you. Just people that you thought were your friends, they deserted you because you started professing Jesus. You came out as a Christian and now you feel persecuted in your workplace. That's fine. Let them reject you, because when they reject you, then Jesus will find you. And you know what happened to Pastor Tilak? He's doing big crusades all over India now. He's doing big crusades. People are coming to Christ. His ministry is growing, and God restored everything for him. So I want you to be encouraged this week. God bless you.